First story. I, 31M, busted my wife, 28F cheating and not sure how to continue. Wife planned a Miami trip with the girls back in April. It was for her birthday week in July. She left saying she wanted to detoxify from social media and would not be very active on her phone, nor take any photos. Instantly suspicious, but I'm not insecure, so whatever. Her birthday night rolls around and I call her while she's supposedly at a bar having cocktails. She refuses to answer, says I'm ruining her birthday. I just want to celebrate a little with my wife. I ask her to at least send a photo of her and the girls. She refuses, shuts me out cold. At this point, I am 100% sure she is hiding something because my wife would never turn down a photo opportunity. An hour passes and she shows me an early flight home for the next afternoon. She made it 2 nights into her week-long trip and was coming back because I ruined it with an intense amount of calls. This was complete bullshit, so the gloves were off and it was time to snoop. I get all the receipts from her Uber usage and saw that Uber Eats orders were only for 2 people in the girls' trip of 3 girls. I found a Google reservation confirmation for only 2 people. I even got access to her location through iCloud and found that she was not at a bar at all that night, but back at the Airbnb. iCloud also let me see photos that were synced, and she received gifts of international chocolates from a country of somebody I had previously been suspicious about. So she came home pretending nothing was happening, refusing to speak with me. Completely enraged, but I knew the truth. The next morning, I took another snoop at the iCloud and found a deleted photo of the flight confirmation of the international man I had been previously suspicious about. It was a flight leaving Miami the same day as my wife. It was all the proof needed. I confronted her, asked her to tell me what happened in Miami, told her I knew the truth and she just needed to say it. She couldn't. I had to start laying out the evidence I had and still she denied it, inventing stories on the spot to try to explain it all away. I was sympathetic with her, and after a long struggle her boundaries collapsed and she admitted to an affair. Her confession was still surrounded by lies as she tried to diminish the extent of the affair to make it sound less bad. Her Uber receipts showed the address of the Airbnb, so I found it on the Airbnb site. Even after confessing, she insisted that it was a girls' trip, that she was really with the girls, and that her girlfriend had booked the Airbnb. But the dumbass international guy left a review on the Airbnb, which is the solid proof that there were never any girls involved in the trip at all. Our marriage is not even 3 years old. But we had a period that lacked in sex and I became very unsatisfied. I turned to porn and abused it for 9 months or so, and in this time is where she met this other guy online through a language learning app. After my 9 months of porn abuse, I went cold turkey and now have been 3 months clean. But in the meantime I lost my wife to her fantasies. We decided to try to stay together and make things work as we both made mistakes. The porn abuse was essentially sexual cheating, as my mind and drive and desires were moving away from my wife. The same happened to her in return, but we decided to try and make it work. The problem now is that she has not been able to quit her affair partner. A week after she promised to cut him off, I did some more snooping and found a FaceTime screenshot of a call she had with him after making this promise. I brought it up to her and she claimed it was a moment of weakness, promised to cut him off for good this time. A week later I found his number saved in her notes app. Every time I confront her, in a delicate and respectful way, about these little lies that keep popping up, she turns into a different person who has tunnel vision and cannot think of anything except for an escape. It's so hard for her to face the truth or say the truth that she'll rage instead, looking for the quickest exit, which after finding this saved phone number has been asking for divorce. Nothing else can come out of her mouth except divorce, 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 instead of just confess to the truth. The tunnel vision will wear off, but I don't really know where we stand at the moment. Hope it helps just to get it off my chest. caught my wife cheating, told her, decided to try to make it work. But 3 weeks after I'm still finding her lying about ending her affair. Second story. New need help and advice. Did I cheat? I know this sounds dumb, and I hate myself for even being here, so please don't judge me too harshly and forgive me for being all over the place. Here is my situation. In June my husband and I went out for drinks with his friend and wife. Earlier in the day Hubs and I had been running errands out of town and of course, got lost and stuck in traffic. Both really pissed my husband off, so the mood beforehand was tense. I handled this by having a pretty, very, big glass of Crown before we left for the bar. Did I mention we hadn't ate? So, we go. We're happier, having a good time. I have 4 more drinks. I'm very buzzed, not pissed, but more drunk than I should have been wanted to be. Here is where things get shitty fuzzy, so I'm going to tell it like I remember. I get up with my husband to go get another drink. The wife comes with. Husband gets my drink and leaves me at a table by the bar with the wife. Wife wants to smoke outside. I don't go with. I'm upset with her and drunk and no, I can't handle smoking. So I'm sitting alone at the table for a bit. Then a dude comes and sits down. Dude says, "Hey, are you here by yourself?" I say, "No, I'm here with my husband and friends." He says, "Oh, you're married." Me, "Oh yeah, very married. My husband is right there." Points to Hubs who is like 20 feet away. "You, I see your ring now, good for him." Me, "If you're looking for single girls they're all down there." Laughs, points to big group of party girls on the dance floor. We then continue to talk, and yes, laugh, at the ridiculous girls. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound like a bitch. Girls are allowed to have fun, I've been there too. Just picture really drunk girls dancing all over each other and singing really bad on the floor. This went on for about 15 minutes. I'm waiting for the wife, food I thought we ordered, who is nowhere to be found. Of course, before I can leave the table my husband rolls up and sees me talking and laughing with dude. I spit out, "Hey, I'm playing wingman, haha. Did I mention I'm drunk?" Anyway, this caused a huge ass fight. Husband left me for a week. Sent horrible texts. All out just flipped shit. I understand that what I did was not right. I should have gotten up once a guy sat down or just stayed with the wife. But my husband's thinking is I was unfaithful to him. BC, I chose to stay with that guy instead of go back to the table. That I cheated on him. BC, I stayed at a two-top table across from him. No contact was made with a guy other than my husband who was clearly looking for pussy after he made a pass at me, and then stuck around to play wingman. He can't believe that I chose to flirt with a guy and smile all night with him instead of them. Which, I wasn't. Like, at no point was I thinking, this guy is cute or, hey, I think I'll try something shitty with this young buck. 20 feet away from the love of my life that I've been with for 16 years. We have since managed to patch a lot of things up, talk it out, hear each other out. He says he's going to go talk to someone, but he still thinks that I was unfaithful. He still can't understand why I did what I did. And my answer of, well, I was drunk and thought we had ordered food. Why he left me at the table in the first place. And that wife was coming back. Sue, IDK, it just ended up happening, pisses him off even more, and yeah, I get that's a lame explanation, but it's what was going on. I apparently looked too happy while I was with the guy for it to be just me waiting. So now, I hate myself. I hate myself for hurting him, for ruining my marriage, for now being a cheater, something I've prided myself on never being, and just feel like trash. When I think about it, I really don't think I did or said anything to the kid that I wouldn't have said if my husband was standing right there, but still, I just can't believe this. How do I make it right? I hate that I'm even posting this, but do any of y'all have any advice on how to move past this? Again, I'm sorry this is so stupid. I'm just beyond hurt and can't get it out of my head and need to move on. We are okay, but we had the best marriage, and now it just feels so broken. Third story. In deep, glad I found here. Finding this place has made me feel less insane. I've been in a very intense affair for the last 2.5 months with a married man. I am separated from my husband, soon to be divorced. I was ready to leave husband when affairs started. We were acquaintances for a while through my previous work. I had a little crush and he was very nice, but nothing happened for a year. My marriage was falling apart and the flirting began and quickly spiraled out of control into constant contact and sneaking around. It was inevitable, but it quickly became unsustainable. And I ended up leaving my husband a lot quicker and more abruptly as he was getting suspicious due to my uncontrollable texting, hiding phone, and cold behavior. EP has no intention of leaving wife. This is ideal for me as I need to be single, as I tell all family and friends, but I am completely obsessed in secret. We both get jealous of each other, his marriage, my single life and male attention and flirting, but are open about it and it's part of the whole dynamic. Our sexual fantasies are increasingly intense and taboo. He's more of a straight-laced type and I'm the more free-spirited wild type. We also have an age difference. He's 18 years older. This is a pattern for both of us. He and his wife have not slept together in years, and I know the sex is the main need I fulfill for him. What an emotional roller coaster it's been. I have no idea where it will go. I'm scared of it ending and he seems scared too. Today he was in my city. I moved away during my divorce for a doctor visit and I met and saw him in the parking lot after he had dropped his wife off to do some shopping during his appointment. I once got on a train to another state where he was visiting his parents without his wife, just to spend a few hours with him. We arranged for him to come into a coffee shop, where I was with my mom while she was helping me move a couple of weeks ago, and we pretended it was just a coincidence, and told her he was just a nice customer of mine. We used to meet in parking lots and walking trails in the very early morning. Before I left my husband, I stayed hidden upstairs in his house a few weeks ago, sneaking in after dark and out before sunrise, for 36 hours while his wife was away. That was the longest we were together, otherwise just sneaky little visits and quickies. All of this craziness and sneaking around is endlessly thrilling to me. He's a serial adulterer and I am a long-time limerent with addiction issues. I get very bored in long-term relationships and leave once start fantasizing about and flirting with someone else. Thanks for anyone who read this. Obviously I can't tell people in my life and it's big off my chest. Fourth story. She cheated on me, lied about it, and then planned to tell me after I moved on. So there's me, 36M and her 38F. Me and her had only been dating for 2 months, and I thought we were doing pretty good. It was my first relationship and we had a lot of firsts. I had to leave for a week to go on a trip for my sport and I come back to her demanding a breakup. I was heartbroken but let her go because that's what you do. Her reasons were BS but I couldn't pinpoint exactly why. I knew she was lying, but the small amount of trust I had left for her told me it was okay. Shit was in fact not okay. Turns out, during that singular week I was gone, she cheated and did the deed with another guy and threw me aside to date him. As naive as it is, I loved her. Maybe not to an extreme, but I genuinely admired and cared for this woman. I decided to not scorch the earth and just wanted to never see her again. My friends, my wonderful friends, decided that if wouldn't force her to face her actions, they would. I have never seen my friends so pissed, and the paragraphs of denunciation and hate are truly something to behold. I have never felt this level of hatred towards someone, and I honestly don't like it. I try to be a good person, but I want nothing more right now to see her fall for what she did. She moves in 2 weeks, and any trace of her has been thrown out courtesy of my friends. This next bit will be all the hypocrisy and lies she told. First off, her biggest fear was me cheating. Second, she lied to me that entire week I was gone saying everything was fine. Third, she keeps defending herself with, "Oh, we weren't going to last so it's okay I cheated." She told me long distance was the reason she wanted to break up because she was off to college. She and the douchebag are going long distance. She was planning to tell me she cheated after I had moved on, whether it was to purposefully cause pain. I wouldn't be surprised. I only found out she cheated because her friends thought I should know. She never once complained about me. She told everyone our relationship was stellar. She even bragged about how great sex was to her friends. I may see and don't feel pleasure, which turns out to be quite handy in the act. My friends knew for weeks, but finally snapped when they saw me in pain and questioning things, and realized she wasn't going to tell me. She had the audacity to get mad at them. I legitimately think she's insane at this point. She and the douchebag have been together for less than 2 weeks and are talking about marriage. I have a lot of power to ruin a lot of things. The douchebag works for her dad and I have the dad's number. He doesn't know about the cheating, but I'd be surprised if he didn't suspect it. Her roommate for college is very anti-cheat, so I could tell them that. A lot of her friends and teacher role models are still in high school, so I could cause a lot of damage there. I'm of course not going to, but I'd be lying if I wasn't tempted. She fucked up big time, not only in the cheating, but she left a scorned ex in her small hometown. She's very lucky I don't burn it all. I refuse to stoop to her level. So I ask, what would y'all do? And is this hate warranted? Fifth story. My 33M partner, 31F, confessed that she kissed a work colleague. What do I do? We have been together for around 6 years and recently bought a house together, so I was really happy with how our relationship was going. Recently she went on a work trip for a week and stayed at an Airbnb with 2 other work colleagues, both male. During her week there she got to know one of the colleagues, and during one night at their Airbnb they kissed and were emotionally intimate, discussing their life goals, things they want to do in the future. They seemed to really connect. When she returned from her trip she was noticeably different in her behavior, secretive, always on her phone, and how she interacted with me, distant, cold, etc. She kept telling me she was very stressed with life and just having a tough patch. We just bought a house together, so I figured it makes sense. That been stressful. She kept talking about how she wanted to do crazy things and live a more interesting life than she has now, and that she has lost herself a bit. She became noticeably unhappier. Shortly after she decided to go see a counselor, which I thought would be a great step to help her gather her thoughts and hopefully find a solution. Although I was concerned why she wouldn't want to confide in me like she always has done. After some weeks and a long day of house renovation, she told me that she thinks me and her have a compatibility problem, and confessed to me that she wanted to move back to her home country for a few months to rediscover herself. I pushed and asked her why and said I feel like something changed with her when she went on her work trip. She confessed and told me that meeting her colleagues from her home region made her reevaluate her situation, since they were very fun, lively people and it was very fun to live like that in that culture. I pushed more and she eventually told me the whole story. She spent evenings there with one of her colleagues and they would talk late into the night. One night they were holding hands, touching and kissing. She swore she didn't do anything else with him. She apologized to me and it seems like she regrets what happened. Now she is confused about what she wants in life and doesn't know what to do. I am torn. For me this is cheating, and I don't think I'll ever be able to trust her again, and it has created deep senses of betrayal, resentment and anger. I feel like she instigated this scenario for them to be together, so it wasn't spontaneous and seemed planned. But part of me really loves her and kind of understands who she is and why she did it. She loves to travel. I don't, and is a very family-orientated, extroverted person. I'm not like this very much. I don't really know next steps since our lives are so entwined after 6 years. Do we try mend what's broken, or do we call it and go our separate ways? Any advice? Long-term partner kissed a work colleague and got emotional feelings for them, now is confused about us.